Okay, Dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So many of you guys probably have seen the news or already seen the thumbnail. Yes, soon Wukong is coming to Seven Knights Rebirth very soon, especially in less than 10 days. How do we know this? So basically they released this article about Freya, okay, and somewhere down the line here, it actually says that a special page will be announcing the new hero Sun Wukong Goku in Korea, scheduled to be released on December 23rd. Now, because we are having Christmas technically on a Thursday, so they are actually pushing the update earlier. It is likely going to be the 23rd on the Korea server date, or could be the 24th, depending on which time zone they decide to have it in. Right? Okay, so it will definitely be earlier, so you have lesser days for the Freya banner. Not only that, I mean, previously someone did send me this image. Basically it has the Wukong silhouette and also the mountain and the flowers. I would expect this to be the mountain where his story will take place in, his origin story, right? And then yeah, basically this is what you can expect that will come in 2 weeks. So no collab. I think the collab will definitely be something that will come next year, and I assume because they said that Aisha is going to be the next story, so we can expect that chapter 22 will be moving into a next arc of the story. Usually with Freya, okay, the original story of Wukong, if you want to read from the Seven Knights 2 lore, so Wukong's goal is to rescue Xuanzang from her imprisonment, by the way, in the Celestial World, to rescue the 7 great stars. To end this, he has followed Freya's orders until the day of Advent. But with the failure of the Advent and disappearance of Power of Destruction, Wukong had to change his plans. Of course, this story isn't exactly the same story as the original story in Seven Knights 1. We are not sure how they may twist the story again for this particular universe of Seven Knights. So, but more often, okay, in all 3 games, all 2 games, I mean, previous 2 games, Wukong has been closely linked to Freya, mainly because Freya has done some very bad things to Xuanzang. And Xuanzang, if you guys didn't know, is also a Celestial Guardian. She will be a Celestial Guardian in future, and she's called Mist. So you guys can go check that out. And Mist is also very closely tied to Mercure. So Freya actually told Mercure to experiment on this Wukong's master, basically. Yeah. So Wukong hid himself in various parts of Gaia and he trained, okay, and yeah. After being approached by Baijiao, Wukong followed his words and set out to gain transcendent power through something called a breakthrough. Okay, so on the note of Baijiao is also probably the most villainous hero you have in Seven Knights lore. Okay, I think he's the one that has no sort of remorse or not so much of background story, but just pure evil, right? He even manipulated Pascal as well in the past to become evil. So Baijiao is also a character that, you know, we could have, because I've also heard some things that he has already been discovered in the files. So I'm not surprised if he is going to be in the next story as well, because ultimately the Aisha continent consists of heroes like Pascal, Rin, Lü Bu, Baijiao, and yeah, all these Chinese-oriented heroes. And then you have the Celestial Guardians coming in to meddle in the affairs of all these, giving you this original story basically. So what can you expect from Wukong's skill set? I think many of you guys who have played the original Seven Knights will expect some great things from Wukong, because he was known to be such an insane unit upon launch. Unfortunately, because of the reboot that we had in Seven Knights 1, we are unable to see his his old skill set, but I did manage to find some footage that will have that. But as you can see here, he will definitely have a revive. Okay, he should have a revive, and I think most of it deals with buff duration reduction. Okay, piercing and stun, and then there's buff duration reduction. There's also fixed damage, and then this thing, increase defense of allies and decrease 5 target attack damage taken. I'm not surprised if they actually bring this over, to be very honest, because if you look at the amount of 5 target attacks we have in the meta right now, there are quite a number, and Carl You know, Carl is a 4 target attack unit, so they could also just nerf and put in a 4 to 5 target, because in this game it is very clear that quadruple and quintuple target damage is kind of like grouped as one, right? Based on the accessories. So I'm not surprised if they actually include that in his passive to actually allow universal units or tank units to come back again. I mean, not even come back, but sustain them in the meta for a little longer, right? And fixed damage will be very good, especially because if he's going to be a universal unit, which he is in the previous game, he's a universal unit. He was also a tank unit in Seven Knights 2. So based on these, his stats, his damage output may not be that high, so fixed damage coming in is going to be very, very useful for a unit like him. In the new world, this is the global server version, there's definitely nothing much, but I remember that when before global server closed, they actually gave him an amazing passive or remake basically, and he became a cornerstone of all universal teams. So yeah, that is how important Wukong is to the game. I think they will not do him wrong because firstly, he is a mythical, actual real world mythical hero or character, right, in Chinese literature. So I don't think they can screw this up. It's not something that they just imagine on their own. And one very important thing that I'd like to highlight that made Wukong such an anticipated character is the fact that he can summon clones. So I'm not too sure if they will actually bring this back to Seven Knights Rebirth, because in Seven Knights 1, after the reboot, they kind of killed off that effect, whereby he only revives and his clones are only seen in his skill animations, which we will take a look in a while. But his clone effect came back in Seven Knights 2, but this is only on his ultimate skill. If you max him out in terms of dupes, he will summon 4 clones. And these clones will fight alongside him, and basically they will just act as additional heroes to the team. So it is actually very game breaking, right? In the game. So it's actually very game breaking if you think about it. Imagine having a team of 5 units, and then only when Wukong dies, he summons another 4 units out. That game will never end. Okay, so yeah, we are not too sure how this will go. Maybe they will not bring back the clone effect. Maybe they will only reserve it for maybe an awakening or something, and he'll just get a revive for now. So let's take a look at his skill animations. So he is basically the 3rd Forlord at this point. So this skill where he blows his where he picks his hair and blows out and creates the clones, I believe will be his skill 2 and will be the one getting the very strong animation. And then the one where he throws his pole will just be probably his skill 1. So based on his very early launch skill set before the revamp, he attacks a single target with his skill 1 and it pierces. I don't think this is going to be the case anymore, because having a single target skill now for a PvP unit is just very bad. He'll probably come with an AoE, and if it still pierces, then I think that will be great because there's a lot of damage immunity still in the game. It should be a multi-hit skill as well to get rid of damage nullifications if it is intended for him to go first. And then for his second skill, it is a 3 target attack back then. Magic attack, ignores target's defense. Very simple effects back then, you know. We don't have so many effects in the past. And then for his passive, he increases his own magic attack and revives with 80% HP and summons 4 avatars for 2 turns. And the avatars will have 60% of the original's abilities. So I would say this probably could also happen. So I would say if they do intend to bring back the clone or avatar effect, then perhaps, you know, they really have to try to adjust it such that these avatars will not be too game breaking. It'll just be an additional target for the enemies to kill so that Wukong can still be protected. Okay, maybe Wukong will also get a hide effect, camouflage effect when he revives. Okay, or is that too broken? I don't know. Maybe Wukong can do that and not be debuffed so that he is revival with the clones actually makes sense. Yeah, so these are some thoughts that I have. Let me know what you guys think, and are you really excited? Are you excited And are you excited for Wukong to come to 7 Nights Rebirth? Let me know in the comments. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much and see you!